Bless you. Thanks for blessing. Yeah. 13, eh? Correct. 13. Interesting subject. Always, every time I see this subject, we'll get so always for that statement we make, especially when we not doing too well. What's the statement we make? Only God can judge me. You like saying that? Maybe someone who got tattoos like it.
Marco.
I know. And then I consider me on camera. Then it wants me on camera. It's calm, Marco. It's calm. So anyway, everybody done their homework? Okay, who's going to do the, what do you call it? The summaries. Sean, thank you. Go for it.
A judgmental, critical, and suspicious mind never brings good because it exalts you above others, and in most cases turns you into a hypocrite because you judge others' minor mistakes whilst you don't focus on your major mistakes. It also brings about gossip since you are highly opinionated about other people. Solomon helps us by telling us to watch our hearts with great vigilance, which is highly imperative since your heart contents will be echoed by your mouth. Focus on your own program, and once you have done that, you are able to be gentle with your fellow brethren. You must forgive each other.
Any other guy? Need one more guy to read? Jason?
I roll. One's not a book like Sean. So I said, don't judge others or the Lord will bring judgment onto you. You must trust the Lord and He will fill your life with love and blessing.
Yeah,
short and sweet.
Quote.
Yeah.
So I saw that book and you had a quote. Quote. Ladies?
Me? Okay. If we judge others, we cannot see what is wrong in ourselves. We will be robbed of any joy and health if we stand in judgment. We must trust in God and not in man and be obedient. We must not be critical and judgmental, and we must forgive another. We must not have a hard-hearted spirit.
Who has noticed that when you're in a good space, or in a good place, you have a good attitude, having a good day, how judgmental and critical are you when you're having a good day? Not very. I mean, it's very few and far between. Maybe someone will tick you off through the day and you could maybe have something to say. But I think there's a difference between being judgmental and correcting, or saying how you feel. I think you need to understand what they mean by saying judgmental, critical, and a suspicious mind. I do find, however, when we're as high as kites or we're in a bad place, that we're extremely suspicious, extremely judgmental, extremely critical. And let me just throw this at you now. If you're in that place where you're very critical, very judgmental, I'm telling you now that you see yourself in the same way. You're actually very critical of yourself. So you understand? So what comes out of you is actually inside of you. So if you're judgmental, critical, and suspicious, you're just as much about yourself, and you're never going to change your life. So if you don't change doing that, being critical and suspicious, etc., you're not going to change your own life. So there's a two-way thing. I'm sure you get to the end of the chapter, you see he speaks about sowing and reaping. And everything you say, everything you do, you are sowing. You are sowing. So we need to make a conscientious decision to change that. Okay? Judgmental, critical, and suspicious mind. It says here, much torment comes to people's lives because of judgmental attitudes, criticism, and suspicion. Much torment comes to who? The person you're criticizing or judging, or the person that's judging and criticizing? To yourself personally. If you're the judgmental, criticizing, suspicious type, much torment. I remember many times in my life, I'm sure you remember in your life, when you're in a certain place, just everything gets you, man. Everything just sucks. And it actually becomes a torment. And the wonderful thing about the drugs of choice we have out there is that it actually adds to it. It actually adds to this criticism, adds to this torment, adds to this suspicion. It's horrible. And yet we keep doing it every day, day in, day out. Multitudes of relationships are destroyed by these enemies. Once again, the mind is the battlefield. Where's the battlefield? Your neighbor, the person next to you, the person destroying the toilets. Top house is the battlefield. Yes, 100%. Ladies section, the battlefield. No, it says the mind is the battlefield. If people start realizing it's them that need to change, or them that need to start doing things differently, you'll find that the top house will be fantastic. The ladies section will be fantastic. The centre will be fantastic. If you notice when you're in a bad space in the centre just sucks. Everything just sucks. This flipping clock doesn't work, man. Store doesn't work. You're such a pinga, this clock doesn't work. But when you're in a good space, it doesn't matter. You know? If you're in a really good space, you'll buy a battery or you'll try and fix it yourself. You know what I mean? We have a lot of power over our lives. Eh? We do have a lot of power over our lives on a personal level. But it takes time. It takes time to get to a place where you can actually make big changes. Change the circumstances inside of you can change the circumstances outside of you. We try and change the circumstances outside of us all the time. If we can get that person to be perfect and treat us the way, then everything, no. We need to change. It's a big thing coming up later. We need to change. It's a big thing stirring in my heart. It's things in my life that need to change if I want to make a better life for my family. I think I'm doing okay, and I'd like to do better. I think everybody wants to improve. If you stop growing, you've got a problem. I must grow until the day I die. It's difficult to grow in stature and muscle-wise the older you get, but you can always grow. If you live for eternity, understand there's always growth to take place. There's always something to learn. I had a meeting yesterday, and I remember still mentioning that every day you learn something new. And I think to go further, I think every day you learn a lot of things. Just be willing to listen. In this class, you can learn a lot today. If you're willing to listen, not because of what I'm saying, just listen to what's going on inside of you. It could be a word, it could be a thought that comes and can teach you something. But many times we learn and we're taught something in class, we walk out and forget it. It's like the mirror. Thoughts. I just think. The mouth. The big thing about a person that's critical and judgmental doesn't have to say something directly to you. I'm sure you've got these people that generally make these sweeping statements. Sweeping statements are one of my favourites. You know what a sweeping statement? You make a comment, just throw it out there. And when the monitor comes to you, say, why you say, I'm not talking to you, I'm just saying just general. It's exactly the same thing. There's some people that are good at sweeping. I think one of them, my counsellee, very good sweeping statement person. But they're getting better. Well done. Can be the tool the devil uses to keep a person lonely. I mean, people with big mouths and have always critical and always sour. I mean, you don't really always see them walking in crowds of people. You know? I remember you always have this one family member when you're young, you go and visit them. You don't want to visit them because they always give you they always give you problems. They've got a problem with you. Or you think they've got a problem with you because you can't run, you can't move, you've got to sit in the corner. As a kid, remember, you always have that one family member and you can't, just got to sit still. Just sit still. I can't sit still. People do not enjoy being around anyone who needs to be a voice and opinion about everything. To illustrate, I once knew a woman whose husband, a very wealthy businessman, he was generally very quiet and she wanted him to talk more. He knew a great deal about a lot of things. She would get angry at him when they were in a group of people and someone would start a conversation on a subject about which her husband could have knowledgeably contributed much insight. I like this story very much. You read the story. Who hasn't read the story? Don't put up your hand, please. Don't put up your hand. No, you copy no work. Don't put your hand. Don't blink too fast. I know it wasn't yet. He could have told them everything he knew, but he wouldn't. One evening, after he and his wife had returned home from a party, she chastised him, saying, "Why didn't you speak up and tell those people what you knew about what you were talking about? You just sat there and acted as if you didn't know anything at all." Exclamation mark. So she was obviously a bit irate. I think she was actually the one being critical, judgmental, and she was getting upset with the husband for not settling it for her. And I said, "I already know what I know," he replied. I try to be quiet and listen so I can find out what others know. Very powerful. I love that thing. What I like about getting older is that you're almost forced to shut up. It's too much of a mission. It's too much of a mission to be honest. It's too much of a mission to just listen. You learn a lot more. It is. It's too much of a mission. When you're young, you're full of fire. Argue with everybody. You know, take everybody on. Now you get older, you're like, no time. Okay, I have my moments. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I have my moments. But here's one of my favorite scriptures. It's Matthew 7 verse 1, and we like to use this. Only God can judge me by. It says here, "Judge not that ye be not judged." Okay? Judge not. Now let me say, let's say as a counsellor or a friend or a head monitor, or even in just general life, your boss, when is he judging you and when is he maybe correcting you? You would have a clue. You're going to have to know this, because you're going to get caught up in this one day. Going back into the world, even being at the centre, you're going to think maybe that's how I correct you. Really? And you walk in, this guy's just judging me. What's the difference between correction and judgment?
And correction improves the life.
Judgment is passing sentence. I pass sentence. But if I come here and I say to you, what you're doing there is wrong and you need to change because you don't change, this is what could happen. I'm correcting you. It's not talking about that. Because you find many times, especially us that come from a dysfunctional background or been in drugs, we're very rebellious. I can't even tell you to put your leg down or take your foot off the chair. You got this innate reason to get upset. You're sitting in the lounge and you put your feet in the chair. And I walk in and I say, please take your feet off the chair. You take it off out of so-called respect, but it's only with something. You know what I'm saying? Telling me to take the feet off the chair. And I've seen it, and I've experienced it myself. I have experienced it. Something simple. Why am I not allowed to? It shows you that the person whose heart's out of line is not the person telling you to take the foot off the chair. It's your heart. You get super upset, and you're not the one because you criticize me and you're judgmental about me being a leader or trying to keep things neat and tidy. In the King James, another word for judgment is condemnation. Don't judge or condemn. Don't pass sentence. Don't pass sentence. Let me tell you something. As long as you have breath, don't take this chance. Just hear me. As long as you have breath, you have an opportunity to repent. But don't go and push it to the max and say, okay, let me see how long I'll live. And at the last minute, no, don't do that. Do you understand something? God is bigger than us. His ways are different to ours. His thoughts are different to ours. He knows what's going on inside of you. So don't sit here today, if you're that way inclined, and say to yourself, well, I'll push it to the max. At the last moment, I'll repent. Don't do that. Don't do that. God has put leaders and people in place for you, to guide you. It's like racing, going too fast in your car. And I pull you over as a traffic officer. You're going 150, 160 in a 100 kilometer zone. There's a bit of problems with you, right? A bit of a fine. No? And then I ask you for your license out of date. And I say, look here, my man. This is a big fine. Oh, I've got to lock you up. And then you start telling me as a traffic officer, I'm judging you. Does it make any sense? But that's what we do. We get very upset. We break the rules. We miss it. And then we get upset because people are judging us. And we always have that sort of people that put those tattoos in their body or make a statement or if I may. I mean, a lot of the gangster rappers, they shoot and they kill. They brag about it, how they do things wrong and that. And at the end of one of these songs or any one of those songs, they say, only God can judge me. You know what I mean? So as a traffic, if I'm a cop or something and I lock you up or I catch you out for drug dealing or I catch you out for maybe shooting that I caught you out to kill 3 people, now I'm judging you? No, you broke the law. I'm enforcing the law. That's why it's very important to know the difference between being judged and condemned. And at the end of the day, it says in the Bible that there's therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ. Because even today, even if you stay clean for years and you get your life in order, there will always be that one person that's not going to be the best of you. It's not going to be the best about you. And if you're not in Christ, it's going to cause condemnation. Because no one can actually condemn you or judge you except for you while you're alive. Doesn't matter what someone says to you, what someone does to you, you have the opportunity and ability that instead of taking the condemnation or the judgment, you can take the conviction and you can change your life. In a place like this, you have the perfect opportunity to stop condemning yourself, get convicted, and make the changes necessary for your life to change. But if in this mindset, you cannot change. Especially if you're the one doing it. Because like I said, you're doing the same to yourself. You understand? Just as much as you could be right about something, if it's in you, you're holding yourself down. Because judgmental, or to be judged, if you're condemning yourself, you cannot grow. So if you keep condemning people and passing judgment on people, it means that you're not growing. You're sitting dead still. Doesn't matter how right you think you are, or how right you could be in what you're saying, understand it's holding you back. The enemy wants you to focus on the wrong things. He wants you to focus on the person next to you and what they're doing and what they aren't doing. And the most important thing is focus on yourself and take what you need to take. I'm telling you, the most growth taking place in my life, is when things have gone wrong or things are unfair, literally unfair. I'm not going to give you examples, but really unfair. Like out of line unfair, where someone would say to me, are you mad? Why did you go through that? And I went through it, and the most growth took place in those moments. Really, that's when the most growth takes place. It's when it's difficult for you. When you don't agree with what's going on. Or when you go through that, that's when the most growth takes place. The most growth doesn't take place when everything's hunky-dory. The most growth doesn't take place on your wedding night. Okay. supposed to be one of your best. Sean, what's wrong, brother? What's wrong? Just checking. Now, on your wedding night for anybody's women dream about their lights in shining armor, men dream about their princesses or their queens to be. You know what I mean? So the wedding night, the most growth doesn't take place at night, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Same as when you graduate on that day, the day of graduation, you finish your schooling in. On that day, when you graduate, isn't when the most growth takes place. It's you going through it to get there. Same as when you're married. The first year, they say, is the hardest in marriage. Most divorces take place in the first year. Did you know that? Yeah. Most divorces, because you're getting to know each other, and you're part of each other, and you realize, damn, I've committed to this person for the rest of my life. And then the most growth takes place in that time. Even though you think it's supposed to be your worst time, it's just when the most growth takes place. Because you truly learn to love each other. It's in those first years. And it'll come again and come again. Do you remember that?
Start it off. I just grabbed off Colin and Arby and Owen.
He's grabbing Colin, Arby and
Owen.
And Owen. From YouTube. Yeah, I'm going to skip down to judging the fun. Coming down to what I was saying just now. So that's the next page, judging the fun. In the Vine's Expository Dictionary of the Old and New Testament words, one of the Greek words translated judgment is partially defined as a decision passed on the faults of others. In other words, passing sentence. And is cross-reference to the word condemnation. You can not thumb sucking. According to the same source, one of the Greek words translated judge is partially defined as to form an opinion and is cross-reference to the word sentence. So to form an opinion and then sentence. God is the only one who has the right to condemn or sentence. He's the one that judges. He condemns and he sentences. Therefore, when we pass judgment on another, we are in a certain sense setting ourselves up as God in his life. I don't know about you, but that puts a little godly fear in me. I have a lot of nerve, but I'm not interested in trying to be God. There are areas where once a major problem in my personality, and I believe I'll be able to share some of the things God has taught me that will help you. Now, Joyce Meyer has a big ministry, a really big ministry. But a lot of times what we don't see is what she had to go through to get to where she's going right now. She didn't just picking up ministry. A lot of these guys, they went through a lot of things. They were judged, they were criticized, they were... It was a big thing for me when we do this type of things. Not so much just what we do, also what we allow in our lives. Criticism and opinions and judgments will all seem to be relatives, so we will discuss them together as one giant problem. So judging, criticizing, and being suspicious is a giant problem. It's a big problem. Not a small problem. Not a little thing, it's a big thing. I was critical because I always seemed to see what was wrong instead of what was right. Like I said to you, when you're in a good space and a good mood, you always tend to see what is right, don't you? You always tend to see the good. I mean, if you're in a bad space here, you walk out and you see these, for me, these 3 trees are next to Lawrence's office. Those of you that know, for me they're beautiful trees. They're really nice trees, but I bet you a lot of you when you walk past those trees, you think, yes, I need to chop these things down. Right? It's the space you're in. Because I can also be in that mood and go, yeah, these flipping cheesy trees take the crap out of me. It's very important, eh? Some personalities are more given to the faults than others. Some of the more jovial personality types do not want to see anything but the happy or fun things in life. They tend to be people that enable. So they really don't pay much attention to the things that could spoil their enjoyment. The more melancholy personalities or the controlling personalities often sees what's wrong first. Generally, people with this type of personality are generous in sharing their negative opinions and outlook with others. We must realize that we have our own way of seeing things. We like to tell people what we think, and that is exactly the point. What I think may be right for me, but not necessarily right for you. You find a lot of time when you're judgmental and critical, normally it's for you. It's up, for example, use dishes, for example. Everybody loves dishes. Whether you like it or not, because you've got a part to play in doing dishes. And I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again so you get my point. If table 3 of dishes and you is table 2, you know that it's supposed to be you. How many of you jump up and go, how many of you do it? Then we go, that's me! Hey, John! Sorry, it's not table 3, it's us! But let it be the other way around. Let you be on table 3. Or vice versa. Would you do the same thing with that table? Would you do the same? Would you actually stand up and say, no, actually not supposed to be table 3, supposed to be table 2? Would you guys do that? So we tend to do what's good for us. Makes us more comfortable. We've got to change it around. So what we think is better, what we think is better for us. We all know, of course, that thou shalt not steal is right for everyone. Anybody don't know that? But I'm speaking here of the thousands of things we encounter every day that are neither right nor wrong necessarily, but we are simply personal choices. I might add that there are choices people have the right to make on their own without outside interference. My husband and I are extremely different in our approach to many things. How to decorate a house would be one of those things. It isn't that we don't like anything the other one chooses, but if we go out to a shop for household things together, it seems Dave always likes the one thing and I like something else. Why? Simply because we are two different people. Rocket science, eh? His opinion is just as good as mine, and mine just as good as his. They are simply different. There's a guy I like preaching, his name is Jesse the Planter. Some of you might know him, he's an evangelist. Very funny guy. So maybe he made a statement one day. And God actually told him one day with his wife, like Joyce Meyer, also had different likes. And God actually told him one day, you must stop doing things that she likes, even though you don't like. So your purpose used to go to these, what are these shops? The linen and the, not linen, the sewing and the bead, and these big sewing shops. What's that, Alma? Any of them, but they're big ones. I think in America it's a lot bigger, they're from America. So I think they think they're a lot bigger and better than ours. So imagine he was, and God spoke to his heart and said to him, look, I know you like these things, but you've got to stop doing what your wife likes as well. So he speaks about how he ends up in these big shops and he walks around and she's buying this and she's telling him, what do you think of this? And she pulls out like the yarn, this button, and he's standing there going, what the hell? But you understand, how often do people do that? How often do we do that? How often do we do things that seem out of the ordinary? You know, we're not ordinary people. So why do we want to be ordinary? Why do we want to act ordinary? Why do we want to treat people ordinary? Why do we want to do things differently? We're really in so much trouble for doing things differently. Aren't we really in trouble for doing things differently and not acting according to the norm and making bad decisions? So why can we do it for the right reasons now? Hey? Why can we go to the Alma shop with our chicks? Why can't we? I mean, they really think we're weird. But are we doing it for the right reasons? We're doing it for the sake of relation. Understand, people in addiction have many broken relations. That's one of the main things we have. People that go into addiction a lot of time come from broken relationships. It's not all of us come from broken relationships. So why not go out of our ways to make sure relationships work? We're willing to break relationships for the sake of our addiction. We're willing to break relationships for the sake of the way we feel. We're willing to break relationships because of the way they act. We're willing to break it. Why don't we start doing things, go out of our ways to start doing things differently to form relationships? One of the biggest things that forms relationships in my life, and I think in your life, is if you learn how to serve. Just learn how to serve. It forms different types of relationships in life. And when you learn how to serve, one of the beautiful things about learning how to serve, you allow a lot of people to speak into your life. You allow people to speak into your life that you actually hear. Fun, when we're in addiction and stuff, who do you allow to speak into your life? The meth pipe. Right? The meth criticizes you from here to Cairo. It does. It makes you think you can't go to work in the morning. Did you know that? You didn't know that. When you're really high, it makes you think you can't go to work. Yes, you can go to work. Yes, you might get bust for me. Judge me. But you can go to work. It doesn't make you feel the best about yourself. It cons you. It cons you. You sit there and you start planning. A friend of mine, I remember, for 3 months, if I go visit him, and we were doing our thing, and I go visit him, and he sit down with his diary, and he'd do all his appointments. Flipping appointments, and phoning. I'd have to leave because it freaked me out. You're so busy the whole time. You're busy, man. And I remember one day he phoned me and said, look, I've stopped that crap now. It's over. He lost a lot of weight. He lost a meth cat. You're going to lose a lot of cat. You're going to lose a lot of cat to lose that much weight. Trust me. And after this time, I asked him one day, yes, man, you must only pump the sales in this 3 months. You must have really flipping rocked. He said, he sold nothing. Nothing. He told me not zip, he sold nothing. So really, he said he sold nothing. See, the thing we take, the thing we use, judges, criticizes us, drops us in the trouble. It doesn't do any good for us, man. But then we pursue it. It's in our hearts, man. You turn to pride. You're the same type of book, 158. Pride. Page 158. Good luck, Tom. Pride. An eye problem. Not eyesight problem. Eye problem. Another thing for sin, if you want to speak about sin, you want to get religious and speak about good and bad, what's the middle letter of sin? Eye. What's the main thing with pride? Eye. It's all about you. I warn everyone among you not to estimate or think of himself more highly than he ought. More highly. More highly. So I've got the I thing going now. Left the H out there. More highly than he thought. Not to have an exaggerated opinion of your own importance, but to rate his ability with sober judgment, each according to the degree of faith apportioned to him by God. Judgment and criticism are fruit of a deeper problem. Pride. Pride. What do you think one of our main problems is? Why do you think we struggle to change? Why do you think we struggle to stop the addiction and change our lives? It's pride. With everything we do, when we pursue the drugs, when we don't pay our rent, when we're not there for our families, and what are we pursuing? What are we chasing after? For I to feel better. For I not to feel. You can't handle being around your family because you feel so inadequate. You just don't feel like you're worth being there. So why should I be there? You don't know what to talk about. You don't have to relate. You don't even have to be there for your kids. You think you're missing it because of the way you see yourself. And it comes down to pride. Can you believe it? The enemy is very clever. A lot of us have low self-esteem. I think if not all of us have low self-esteem, especially coming out of addiction. If you didn't have low self-esteem, you would have been using substances to make yourself feel better. So, but then what does he use to keep you in bondage? The other main issue is low self-esteem, condemnation. What does he use? Pride, a shield. Now, what if you're trying to attack the self-esteem, you're trying to attack the low self-esteem, the condemnation, but you're not dealing with the pride? How do you know you're prideful? What's one of the measures you can use to measure that if you're full of pride? Yes, criticizing, judgmental, and being suspicious. Yes, you. But let's go a bit heavier. If I come and I correct you, I'll give you guidance and you refuse to take it. Not me personally as a person, but you have to change your ways. You have to change your life. You have myself, Lucas, and everyone else telling you, not this way, that way. And you refuse to listen. It's pride. So, amazing thing, you refuse to listen. You refuse to change your ways. Then you know you're full of pride. And that's the shield that stops you. It stops you. Keep this thing up. You can't get here. So then you leave the place too early, or you don't take as much as you can. You've got the shield up the whole time with pride. You're blocking anything that's coming in. So when you leave, guess what? You leave with the same issues. So for the sake of changing your life, lay down the shield of pride. Lay it down, man. Even if your counselor is an idiot. Or you put it there, even if you think your counselor is an idiot. Put it down. Lay it down. And watch how your life changes. Because then the issue can be resolved. Condemnation, criticism, self-judgment. Then it can be resolved. Remember what this thing like? Pride. You can't get in there. The enemy is sharper than what you think. Remember, you've been around for how long? I mean, combined. The enemy's been around a lot longer than us. Maybe walk around the farm thinking we know it all. No ways. We need God. We need a higher power. We need someone bigger than us. You need a teacher. You need an authority. You need someone to speak into your life. Because you don't know it all. We think we know it all. If the earth existed for so many thousands and millions, whatever the vibe might be, and you've only existed for 30 years, what the hell do you know? Can you perceive a million years? Can you perceive 200 years? Can you actually fathom it? Can you? Remember when we're high? We think we can. Look, should I? Judgment and criticism are fruits of a deeper problem, pride. When the I in us is bigger than it should be, it will always cause the kind of problems we are discussing. The Bible repeatedly warns us about being high-minded. High-minded. Do you hear? Nobody else is here. So that's your choice, isn't it? You choose to be high-minded. Whenever we excel in an area, it's only because God has given us a gift of grace for it. If we are high-minded and have an exaggerated opinion of ourselves, then it causes us to look down on others and value them as less than we are. The type of attitude or thinking is extremely detestable to the Lord. It opens many doors for the enemy in our lives. Man, you heard the thing with junkie pride. Okay?
Yes.
Even the people that come in and say, I don't need to be here, there's people that are not worse than you. That's junkie pride. That's pride already in itself. Or the person that's only been in it for a short while, you've been in it for many, many years. You destroyed your life. And you think you're better than the person that's only been in it for a year. Crazy, man, eh? But we do that. Holy fear. Brethren, if any person is overtaken in misconduct or sin of any thought, you who are spiritual, who are responsible to and controlled by the Spirit, should set him right and restore and reinstate him without any sense of superiority, with all gentleness, keeping an attentive eye on yourself, and you should be tempted also. I'm struggling to read today. Wow. Am I judging myself? Am I passing sentence?
Yes.
Or myself just trying to fix it? Bear, endure, carry one another's burdens and troublesome moral faults. In this way, fulfill and observe perfect the law of Christ the Messiah, and complete what is lacking in your obedience to it. Who must complete what is lacking? You. Us. Self. Personal. So because we're so focused with pride is so focused on the I, but then changing your life also focused on the I. But it's a different mindset, a different perception, what you're focused on. You're high-minded. One of my favorite scriptures, who doesn't know, is Proverbs 3, 5, 6 and 7, that says, do not lean on your own understanding, trust in all your heart, do not lean on your understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will don't trust in your own understanding. My understanding has got me into a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Where was I? Careful examination of these scriptures quickly reveals to us how we to respond to the weaknesses we observe in others. It sets forth a mental attitude we are to obtain within ourselves. We must have holy fear of pride and be careful of judging others or of being critical of them. Who are we to pass judgment? Who are you to pass judgment on and censure others' household servants? It is before his own master that he stands in front of faults. You know what he's talking about? Okay? If I am a head of a firm or a thing and I have people working my subordinates, and people come in and they say, yeah, and you're judging the monitors and you're judging the volunteers and then speaking about this, who are you to pass judgment on and censure and other household servants? It is before his own master that he stands for faults. Wisdom, eh? If he's missing it, his master, his authority, his head will deal with it if he's missing it. Will come out sooner or later. And he shall stand and be upheld for the master, the Lord, is mighty to support him and make him stand. So who are you to judge it? Who are you to say they're missing? Who are you to say that they're not the right person, that I can do that? Who are you to do that? Think of it this way. Let's say your neighbor came to your door and began instructing you on what your children should wear to school and what subjects she felt they should take. How would you respond? Or suppose your neighbor stopped in to tell you that she didn't like the way your maid, with whom you were quite satisfied, cleaned your home. What would you say to your neighbor?
Sure. Mind your own business.
This is exactly the point the scripture is making. Each of us belong to God, and even if we have weaknesses, He's able to make us stand and to justify us. We answer to God, not each other. Therefore, we are not to judge one another in a critical way. The devil stays very busy assigning demons to place judgmental, critical thoughts in people's minds. Let me ask you a question. If, for example, we were part of the Israelite nation that left Egypt, and you had a guy, everybody knows who Moses is, had an idea what Moses did. He parted the Red Sea, and he did a lot of things with Pharaoh. So everybody not know who Moses is. 100%. Imagine that person being your leader. Imagine it. Imagine that person, he's standing and you're like, and then that guy passed the Red Sea just passed. Okay? Or imagine him hitting the rock and the water comes out of the rock. Imagine seeing, can you imagine that? Have you ever seen that before? Have you ever seen me hit the rock? Have you seen me part the... No, never. Now imagine having this guy as a leader. Yet, they criticize him. Yet, they judge him. Why? Would you judge Moses? What the hell is his problem? No, who do you think he is? They used to do it. It shows you there's an issue in a man's heart. The person can judge and criticize someone like Moses, or even judge and criticize someone like Jesus. It shows you, if we're not careful, especially us, that we can also get caught up in the same thing. And anybody that would judgmental and critical ends up losing their lives. It's quite a statement. Because you're so busy focusing on everybody else's issues, you're not realizing the issue is you. So you waste years and years. How many years have we wasted on our issues? Right? Some of us have been using for a long time. We wasted years on our issues, thinking it's someone else's issue. Please move over to sowing and reaping judgment. It's page 161. Matthew 7:1-2. We read a bit of it earlier on. Do not judge and criticize and condemn others, so that you may not be judged and criticized and condemn yourself. For just as you judge and criticize and condemn others, you will be judged and criticized and condemned, and in accordance with the measure you use to deal out to others, it will be dealt out to you, again to you. These scriptures plainly tell us that we will reap what we sow. Galatians 6:7, sowing and reaping does not apply only to the agricultural and financial realms, it also applies to the mental realm. We can sow and reap an attitude as well as a crop or an investment. If you're honest with yourself through the years that we've been yarking on, how's your thinking been? Is your thinking been good? When anybody says they're thinking been good, we have to chat afterwards. I think it's been terrible. Don't you think there's any correlation or anything concerning what we're thinking and the situation you're on today? Or you think it was your sister, or your brother, or your ex-girlfriend, or your ex-wife, or your... You think, is that the problem? No. The problem is when we're at this age, when we're maybe 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever, then we don't have much control. I mean, you don't see a 7-year-old telling you what to do. Look, my son told me what to do, but I serve. I can beat them. But when you're this age, you can control. You're responsible. When you're this age, when you are able-bodied, and you can make decisions and stuff, you are completely going to be responsible for the things that happen in your life. You're responsible. Whatever actions you take, you're responsible for. When you're maybe that age, you can say, the older person forced me, etc., etc. But when you're this age, you can't. You can't give away responsibility. That's why it's so important when we have to take responsibility for our lives. One pastor I knew often says that when he hears someone has been talking about him in an unkind or judgmental way, he asks himself, are they sowing or am I reaping? Wow. How many of you have done that before? If I get upset with this guy for talking crap about me, who hasn't been able to do that? I wouldn't mind being able to do that. I'll work on it. But you say something bad about me, Carmen? No. Okay, good. Bad. Many times we are reaping in our lives what we have previously sown into the life of another. Physician, yield ourselves. Why do you stare from one... Yes, I'm ready. Please someone read for me. Sean, please read for me, brother. Physician, yield ourselves.
Why do you stare from that? Yeah?
Sean, don't read for me. Don't read for me. Okay, go for it, Greg.
Why do you stare from without at the very small particle that is in your brother's eye, but not become aware of and consider the beam of timber that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me get the tiny particle out of your eye when there is the beam of timber in your own eye? You hypocrite, first get the beam of timber out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the tiny particle out of your brother's eye.
I like that one very much. It's a nice scripture. We forget the last part. Forget the last part. We do, really, we do. We forget that last part. Who are you? Okay, that's nice about us counselors and stuff. But we don't come from a perfect background. We didn't go to university for 10 years and everyone hunky-dory, we didn't do anything wrong. We've done it. Some of us have done it worse than we've done it. Some of us. So if we try and guide you or try and give you advice, the advice we give, or the guidance we give, is not something we wouldn't apply to ourselves, or something we haven't been through ourselves. You need to remember that. I'm not giving you advice because we in our own understanding and we think we're so fantastic. No. We've got scars, guys. You can see inside of us, Lucas and myself, we have scars. We scar, trust me. I limp. Have you seen me limp sometimes? And I do. I mean, since I limp sometimes. I literally limp physically. Okay? I've got neck scars more than head bang. I did a push-up the other day. Yes, I did. You know what hurt? My neck. When I did, I got through it. I pushed through. I just have to stretch my neck. But I know where it's from. We got battle scars, guys. Some of you are young enough. Some of you are young enough here not to go through those battle scars. Just listen. Listen. Do not make us fall when they leave. They don't listen. They don't listen. Guys that have returned, they can tell you they didn't listen to something. They maybe thought it wasn't important enough, or don't listen. You've got a chief magistrate telling me the problem they have is not the people anymore because they know what they're doing wrong. It's because the families don't listen. How you like it? You don't listen. That's another story for another day. Okay, continue please. Yeah, the devil loves to keep us busy.
The devil loves to keep us busy, mentally judging the faults of others. That way we never see or deal with what is wrong with us.
Amen.
We cannot change others, only God can. We cannot change ourselves either, but we can cooperate with the Holy Spirit and allow Him to do the work. Step 1 to any freedom, however, is to face the truth the Lord is trying to show us. When we have our thoughts and conversation on what is wrong with everyone else, we are usually being deceived about our own conduct. Therefore, Jesus commanded that we not concern ourselves with what is wrong with others when we have so much wrong with ourselves. Allow God to deal with you first, and then you will learn the scriptural way of helping your brother grow in his Christian walk.
Thank you. Who here is saying is perfect? Anybody? You're not sitting, so like you can. Not sitting. Let's say you're sitting. We're far from perfect. We're far from perfect. And none of us are here for good behavior. So when we come into a place like this, or any place where someone's trying to help us, and we see criticizing stuff, then he's lying to you. He's lying to you. It's not the situation or circumstance or how beautiful the place is that will change your life. It's what you decide to go through. Listen, it's what you decide to go through that will change your life. Addicts decide not to go through things. So if you're here and you're deciding not to go through something because you don't agree with what's being said, that's still the addict. People that have good lives, and successful lives, they've gone through things that we refuse to go through. So it starts with the simple things. Okay, we'll choose. I'll go through this one, but this one I won't go through. No. Go through what you need to go through. What life throws at you, go through it. Don't try and run away from it. Amen? Amen. Father God, I want to thank you for this opportunity you've given us to go through this important chapter, Lord. I thank you that we look at ourselves, Lord, that we can remove the beam out of our own eyes, Lord, so we may be able to see clearly enough to help those around us. I just thank you we understand this principle, because it is a principle. And I thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.